This is the Get Better Everyday podcast with Matt Gouget. Actionable advice from real-life superheroes who, just like you, are in relentless pursuit of the best version of themselves. Join me as I interview the best of the best in business, sports, and life. All right, Get Better Everyday podcast with Matt Gouget. I am beyond excited to have a local celebrity, one of Sacramento's finest, Kevin Bracy, Coach Greatness, on with me today. Thank you so much for joining me, Kevin.
MG, I'm so excited to be here, man. Anytime I can be in your space, man, you know, people that have that kind of energy, we just bounce off of each other like that. It is what it is.
Something about it, man. We were talking offline about how, you know, we've crossed paths a few times. I think I initially met you maybe a decade ago. All the cool stuff you're doing in and around Sacramento. But one of those, encounters maybe 4 or 5 years ago where we really connected, and just that, like you said, energy. There's certain people where getting ready to get on this interview, I thought to myself, I can't wait to get into it with Kevin Bracy.
Hey, you know, I connect with a lot of people in the audience when I'm speaking, but I think I remember the time when I was speaking for Rico, for Keller, we connected during the talk. Like you were in the back. There were people in the front, and then there was a little space, and you were in the back, and you were way back there, and we were connecting. So, hey, man, this is destined. We were supposed to be on the same screen together, baby. What's up?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So maybe let's just start with who you are, what you're up to, what you've been doing, because it's a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff that I really admire. For Get Better Every Day, fans listening. Who is Kevin Bracy?
Thank you for asking that question. I'm a man of God. I'm a husband. I've been married 24 years. I'll be married 25 years on September 6th. I'm excited about that. That's an accomplishment. You know, I'm grateful for that. I don't take that for granted. I've got a daughter that's 28 years young, chasing her wildest dreams. I have a son who is 21, who I'm so proud of. He wants to follow in my footsteps and use his words and his passion to change people's lives. And I have another son that's in heaven who passed away in 2005. But every day I wake up, I get an opportunity to do what I set out to do 27 years ago. People call what they would fit me in a category. They would say, you're a motivational speaker. I don't consider myself a motivational speaker. I'm a motivational entertainer. I motivate and I entertain at the same time. It's not just going to be talking when you're with me. You know, we're going to play music, we're going to sing, we're going to dance, we're going to do chants, we're going to do a lot of stuff. So it's motivational entertainment. Any given day, Maddie, I'm at a elementary school speaking to TK through 6th graders about how to talk themselves into greatness while early. Any given day, I could be at a middle school or a high school. Like tomorrow, I'll be at Oak Ridge High School for 2 assembly shows where I'm talking to them about greatness talk, or I'm speaking to educators or professionals or athletes. I get an opportunity literally to make a living doing what I love every day. And I'm so grateful, and I never take it for granted. Not one.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what I truly believe this. The Get Better Everyday podcast was sparked from life changes I made. And without getting into it, because I want to talk about you and I want to talk about me, my life changed dramatically about a decade ago. Was making bad decisions, was down the wrong path, and started making right ones. I went from that bad path to a self-development path where I hear guys like you on stage speaking greatness into people. I started to believe it.
Come on.
And, one of our favorites, Les Brown, I don't know if he made up the quote or not, but people overestimate what they can do in a year. They highly underestimate what they can do in a decade. And so when people say, oh, Matt, you've got a successful business, your family's healthy, you've got, I remind them that I was in a really bad place. If I write a book, Kevin, it's going to be dead in my driveway. And that's where I was.
The title?
I mean, if I write it,
that would be the title.
Yeah. And that's where I was, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually bankrupt in all ways. And so what I really love about what you do is, it's all types of people. Like you said, there's kids, there's athletes, there's all of them. And a lot of them are in a place either now or at some point where they were down. They didn't believe in themselves.
and you speak it into them. I want to ask you this question because I think it's important. And I'll preface it with another quote. I listen to so much of this stuff. I can't get enough of self-development.
It's all over you, bro. It's all over you.
I can't get enough of it. So Ed Milet, in a podcast I was listening to of his, was talking about his dad and how somebody helped his dad get over drugs and alcohol. And the crazy epiphany he had that what qualified that person was that they were a drug addict and alcoholic. They weren't the richest, the fastest, the smartest, anything, right? They changed his dad's life. He got to witness it. He gets to influence millions of people. And so people, underestimate the impact they can have. I tend to think people who have gone through struggle are the best equipped, the most qualified to help others come out of it.
Absolutely.
So I'd love for you, as deep as you want to go or however you want to do it, to tell me, that it hasn't always been sunshine and rainbows for Kevin Bracy. Maybe there was some struggle that qualifies you to go speak to a fourth grade kid who's struggling, to go speak to, somebody who's hurting and tell them, you're meant for greatness. You're destined for something. And I believe in you.
That's real. I was born and raised in Sacramento, and I'm going to give you the terse version of it. But first of all, let me open by saying I love my family. I love, my mom and my dad and my grandparents and where I come from. There's obviously something that they put in me that I'm driven. I'm not just motivated. I'm driven. When I see something that I want, I'm going to go get it. I don't care what the odds are. I don't care what the statistics show. I'm going to get what I'm after. And I believe I got that from my DNA. That's somewhere in my DNA. However, my dad got caught up with drugs and alcohol when I was young. When I wasn't even born, he was already dibbling and dabbling into drugs and alcohol. So I was raised in a family where there was a ton of love, a ton of passion. But when you mix drugs and alcohol amid love and passion, sometimes it can get intense. So I grew up around a lot of violence. I saw my dad do some things that kids aren't supposed to see. I remember in third grade watching my dad literally physically try to take my mother's life. I don't know if that was his goal, but from what I saw, that's what it looked like. And from what I can remember, that's what it looked like. I remember seeing my grandfather. I saw the best versions of my parents, but I also saw the worst versions. I saw the worst version of my grandpa when he literally, with a 9mm, tried to take my grandmother's life. Where was I? I was right in front. I was right below the gun that he was shooting over my head. See, when you see things like that, when you witness stuff like that, it changes you. It changes how you look at life. It changes how you look at yourself. It changes how you talk to yourself. So coming up, when I saw things like that, for some reason, I would, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, middle school, high school, I would say, man, you're so stupid. You're probably not going to make it. You're so dumb. You're so ugly. When the teacher asks you to read something in class, you never want to read out loud because you don't read fast enough. When the teacher asks a question like, what did they just read? Or what did you just hear? I tried to look away from the teacher because I didn't want her or him to ask me any questions, because it took me to read something 10, 11, 12, 13 times in order to get it. So my mindset was not set on greatness when I was young. It was set on, you're probably going to be average. You might end up in prison or in jail because I had a bad attitude. But when I turned 25, not 15, not 21, 25, I was introduced to getting better every day. I was introduced to books that you put in your mind. I started putting positive words before my eyes 15 to 30 minutes a day, no matter what. I started putting podcasts, back then it was tapes, let me keep it real, in my ears 15 to 20 minutes a day, listening and reading, reading, listening, reading. That kind of getting better every day regimen caused me to start speaking differently to myself. That's how it happened for me. At first, it was just reading and listening. Hey, you're not ugly. You're actually awesome. Hey, you're not ugly. You're actually handsome. Hey, you're not no bum. You're actually a winner. When my vocabulary changed, I call it greatness talk. When I started to talk myself into greatness, Matt, is when things started to change for me. So it was not always peaches and cream. I have stories of things that these young people are going through now at home. Parents are fighting and divorcing now at home. So when I can share those stories, these young kids look and go, well, if he made it through, maybe I can make it through. That's all I need is a maybe. Because when you get a maybe, that's hope. That's hope. And then one day, everything changed. I was sitting down watching an old Muhammad Ali fight. And after the fight, Ali was like, I'm the greatest. And they were like, calm down. They're trying to ask him questions. I'm the greatest. I'm pretty. I shook up the world. Howard Cosell is like, wait a minute. Now I got a question. I'm a bad man. He went off. I'm the greatest. When I come to the fight, don't block the aisles or the doors because Archie Moore will fall in 4. I must be the greatest. Last night I had a dream. In Africa, I had one hell of a rumble. I had to whoop Tarzan's behind first for claiming to be the king of the jungle. For this fight, I've wrestled with alligators. I've tussled with a whale. I done handcuff lightning and throw thunder in jail. You know I'm bad. I've murdered a rock. I've injured a stone. I've hospitalized a brick. Maddie, he said, I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. I'm so fast, man, I can run through a hurricane and don't get wet. When George Foreman meets me, he's going to pay his debt. I can drown a drink of water or kill a dead tree. Wait until you see. Muhammad Ali, Maddie, real quick, I jumped up and said, you know what? I'm the greatest. I'm a winner. There's greatness in me. My whole life changed. I changed the way I talk to myself, which changed the trajectory and the course and the direction of my life to getting better every day.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it, man. What I love so much about it is because I can feel your passion. And when you've got what you've got inside of you, right? You can't help but want to share it. And so I know that's why over this last 25, 26-year run, it's like, I don't want to keep this to myself. This is the greatest thing ever. Anything's possible. I can do anything. No
Come
matter
on.
circumstances, no matter what I've been through, I'm capable of whatever I want. And when I go out there and I pursue it and I get better every day, the doors open to whatever.
Everything opens up. Opportunities come your way. You didn't even know that they were coming your way. Because your vibration, because what you're tuned into, we have the power to attract whatever we want. We have the power to will things into existence, but we don't trust ourselves. It takes time to get to that point because I didn't trust myself for a while, but it took me over time. The words that I put before my eyes, my ears, and spoke out of my mouth changed everything.
I love it. So here's my follow-up question, because as I'm thinking about it, you said, 25 years old, something clicked,
Yes.
For me, I was in my 30s. I mean, I was 31 before I really woke up and said, you know what? If I choose what direction I walk in life, maybe I should walk in a better direction.
Yes, sir.
And I know many like that. You've got, thousands and thousands of people you've talked to from 6 years old to 95,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so you probably are, qualified to speak on this. What can you do, Kevin Bracy, and what can others do to get somebody to start thinking differently, to get them to start believing in themselves? What's something that you found success in to speak that into?
I think it's important. See, I think I can motivate someone in a room, in a space, on a podcast or whatever, but it's got to be in you. You have to say, someone has to say, and I don't like to say you because I don't like to tell people what to do, and I don't like people telling me what to do. What I had to do was to say, there was something that I wanted, right? If you don't have a reason, now I don't want to get into the whole why, because we could talk about the power of why forever, but it matters. I saw someone doing something that I wanted to do, which was speaking. I'm a motivational entertainer, but I saw Les Brown speaking, and his words got to me, and how he was doing what he was doing it so passionately, and he was having fun. I said, man, what if I can do that? And once I got that out in front of me and said, this is where I want to go, I'm not going to get there with who I am today, because who I was then when I first started, I was cussing every other word. You know what I mean? I wasn't waking up and getting myself ready for the day. Maybe I wasn't working out regularly. So I had to shift and change and grow. And once I realized this is what I want, and I'm not going to be able to be who I am today in order to get there, I said, okay, I need to improve. I need to get my better thought process. I need to get better habits. I need to figure out how to write down goals, all the things. And that's when I started a daily regimen of reading 15 minutes a day. At least. You cannot go to bed without putting something positive in your mind. You can't do it. Well, yes, I can. Well, you can, but if you want to get better, you can't do it. I had to listen to someone that inspired me 15 to 20 to 30 minutes a day. Sometimes I was doing it 3 hours and 4 hours in a day. I was hooked. Maddie, I'm sick in my head. I wanted to get better. I wanted to speed up the process. And you have to open up your mouth and talk yourself into greatness. And I believe all of these things start in the morning when you wake up and start your day. That's what you do when you wake up. I would get up and go for a walk every day. I don't do it as much anymore because I've gotten to a certain place in my life to where I can change up my routine. But back then I would get up, Maddie, and I'd go for a walk. And every morning I would spend time in silence. I would spend time in gratitude. I would spend time in affirmation, and I would spend time visualizing the life that I'm currently living now. The speaking engagements that I get now, to speak 250 times a year with no marketing. And I'm not an online guru. I don't have an online following, but offline, I'm speaking 250 times with no marketing, all word of mouth. How did I do that? I created that, not because I'm better than anybody. I had something I wanted, and I got better and kept growing as a person and got better every day. And other people started seeing the value that I bring. And now I earn a living doing what I love, which is building people up. But I had a reason. I had a why.
Yeah, I love it. A couple things. There's so much good in there. I'm trying to figure out which of the gold I want to pick out. There's a couple things though that people can take from that. You know, consistently showing up. And when you start, it doesn't have to be 10 hours a day. So if you're listening to this, if you're stuck, if you want to start heading in a direction and doing something, you know, that you enjoy, that fills you up. Recently, I saw something. 18 minutes a day equals 100 hours in a year. 18 minutes a day, you'll be better than 95% of the people at whatever it is you're practicing a year, right? And so to your point, you had these little regimens where I'm going to do this for 15 minutes a day. I'm going to do this for 15 minutes a day. Then you look up, and after a year, look at where I've come. Look at who I've become.
Absolutely.
Because to your point, all of my goals, all my aspirations, all the things I want to do, the 2023 Maddie isn't capable. I know for sure the 2013 Maddie wasn't capable, and the 2011 Maddie couldn't even comprehend. Right. But if I work every day at getting better, you know, you eventually become the person that's capable of minority ownership in the Sacramento Kings. That's my big lofty goal. I'm putting that out there right now. I've been riding with them since 1985, since they came to Sacramento.
I see your boys too. Y'all see your kids. Y'all love them. I see.
Oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there at the playoff.
I'm sure you will.
So I love that the consistency, and you'll agree with this. And I know it's been my experience. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be a tech guru or naturally gifted. If you show up and you're willing to work, anything is possible. I probably won't play in the NBA. So there's limitations to it, right? Especially now that I'm 42 years old, probably not in the cards.
Let's go.
But most things, people put limits on themselves when there's not. And so I love that you're out there speaking to this. I've got a real soft spot in my heart for kids. So I'd love for you to spend a couple minutes just so the audience knows some of the great stuff that you're doing across California, across the country, honestly, with kids, anti-bullying, each one reach one's still a thing,
absolutely.
Right?
Hey,
Okay, so talk about that.
Always be a thing, baby. It'll always be a thing. Well, I'll talk about that, but let me say this first real quick, Matty G. It took me, I need you guys to hear this. Whoever's listening, I need you to get this. Because many times you see someone talking, and here's what many people don't realize. It took me 16 years to break through. 16 years. Well, what do you mean by that? I was hustling to try to become a household name locally. That's it. Because my motto is dream global, but focus local. Everybody wants to get started and be a millionaire overnight and make their business and go viral overnight. It doesn't work like that. Dream global, focus local. As I was focusing locally to become a name as a speaker, local, that's all I care about is Sacktown. Everybody else, I love everybody. I love every school I go to outside of California. It's Sacktown first, California everything, and everybody else, I love them, and I'll go speak to them. But this is what matters to me, because when I die, they're not coming from New York to see me. It's going to be the kids in Sac, where I'm from. You feel me? Yes. So it took me 16 years to break through. I've been doing it now for 27 years, but 16 years of struggling and trying to figure it out, but never giving up, because I was like, I'm either going to do this for a living or I don't even want to be here anymore. I'm not saying I was going to commit suicide. That's not what I'm saying. I just did not give myself an out. This is what I'm going to do. Now, with the kids, when I'm talking about with kids, my message is BRACE. The B stands for build yourself up with your words. The R stands for reach for your wildest dreams. The A stands for attitude, positive. You got to have a positive attitude in order to make things happen in life. The C stands for cool. Everybody wants to be cool, but cool at the elementary school level equals being kind. Being cool means being kind. It's never cool to call somebody a name when you know that name will hurt their feelings. It's never cool to put your hands on someone when you get angry at them. That's not cool. It's cool to be kind. It's cool to be respectful. It's cool to build people up. And the E stands for each one, reach one. Reach one person every day with a word of encouragement, with a compliment. Reach out to someone that you don't know, someone that doesn't look like you, talk like you, walk like you, act like you, believe like you, hang out with you. Reach out to them and find something within you to give them a word of encouragement. Compliment their smile, compliment their shoes, compliment their hairstyle, respectfully. Reach out to somebody and spread positivity. And if we all reach one every day, change the world, man.
I believe it. I believe it. And real quick for Get Better Everyday listeners,
yeah,
whether it's speaking, whether it's, a mortgage business, no matter what it is, what you said is so true that so many people don't think about. But here's the good part. You can burn the boats. You can be all in, and you can know that it's not going to happen overnight. If you shoot for the moon and miss, another Les Brown, right?
You'll land amongst the stars.
So here's the thing. If Kevin Bracy would have struggled and hustled and done things for free and done all the stuff he did for 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, never got all the recognition, all the stuff where people just reach out to you. 250 gigs come to your door because of what you've done and because of your reputation. If none of that happened, the 14 years of struggle and hustle and work, you would have been a better version of you regardless.
Regardless.
Yep. And so that's the victory, even when in some people's eyes, it's like, man, I put 3 years of work into this business. It didn't work out. Well, guess what? You learned some lessons. You're better than you were 36 months ago. You're going to take those lessons you learned and you're going to go do 5x better than you would do at that next business because of it. And so, I was having a conversation this morning. People like, Matt, you're just too damn positive. All I have is optimism because back to the earlier point,
Yeah.
I was dead in my driveway in 2011. So every day I wake up is a blessing.
Come on.
I both know we're blessed and highly favored.
Come on.
So if I can do anything with the Get Better Everyday podcast, with coaching the elementary school basketball kids, with anything I do, if I can help somebody else see greatness within them,
Yes,
change the trajectory of their life, that's something to me that, in the same, respect and the same vision that you have, I'm going to leave behind something that's worth something because I changed somebody.
You absolutely, hey man, you do every day. I see your energy. This positive energy is just popping off the screen, my friend.
Yeah.
I see you. And you said something about the victory on this arm. You probably can't see it. It's dream, struggle, victory. Whatever dream you have, when you start to pursue it, you're going to run into some struggle. You're going to run into some roadblocks. You're going to run into some resistance, but a plane needs a certain amount of resistance to get off the ground to fly. A muscle needs resistance in order to grow. A relationship needs some fighting and some resistance in order to grow and get better. The dream, the struggle, when you are willing to face the struggle, know that it's going to come. And when it does, face it. On the other side of it, there will be something victorious. Like you said, I'm not saying everybody's going to live their dream. But if you're willing to fight through the struggle, there will be something victorious on the other side of that struggle that you can take with you. That's valuable.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. You got Scared Great, your book in the background. Tell us a little bit about that.
I've been scared my whole life. I've been scared I wasn't good enough, scared I wasn't smart enough, scared I wasn't. I knew I wasn't a 10 in no area, in sports, in school, in looks, but I was so afraid to be a 0. I just didn't want to be a 0. So my hustle comes from fear. But what I realized as I got older, a lot of people, I want to chase my dream. I want to do this, or I want to start a business. I want to be like Maddie. And it's like, I'm scared. Well, just because you're scared doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You're scared because you're human. It's okay to be scared. But that fear that I've had in me I've learned how to steer it. If you see it down here, steer your fear towards greatness. If you learn how to take that fear and steer it and use that energy, I'm always prepared for whatever's coming my way. You know why? Because I'm scared. So that fear has caused me to make sure that I'm prepared for whatever I can possibly prepare for. So the fear has led me to my greatness. Don't be afraid to be afraid. You're human. Use the energy and steer it in the right way, and it can lead you to your greatness. And if you don't know how to do that, you can pick up Scared Great at kevinbracy.com, baby. BRACY, no E, kevinbracy.com.
kevinbracy.com. I love it, man. I'm going to keep following you. These conversations and, just how we started, man, the energy, getting around this energy is you're infectious, man. I appreciate the heck out of you. So thank you so much for coming on. Any parting words for the Get Better Everyday audience?
Here's a quick one. First, for you, I'd love to come and speak to your basketball team. Just let me know. Send me a text. I can come in the little kids basketball team that you coach. 4th
through 6th graders. Yes, sir.
Hey, reach out to me. I got you. I could bring in some chants free of charge. I'm going to come and just show them love. So we'll get that connected. And lastly, when your mind goes negative for the rest of your life, your mouth has to go positive. When your mind says, I can't do it, your mouth says, yes, I can. When your mind says, I'm not enough, your mouth says, I'm more than enough. When your mind says, I don't matter, your mouth says, I do matter. Because even as adults, the struggle is right here. But the answers are also right here. But we got to make sure that we have the right words going through our mind. When your mind goes negative, your mouth goes positive. The battle is right here. Don't let negative win. When a negative thought comes, you got to capture it and spin it around and speak it out positively and move on with your day. And every time they come, you got to battle until you get your breakthroughs. Nobody has it mastered. I still got to work on it. But at least you have the tool. The tool is your mouth. Mind goes negative, mouth goes positive.
I love it, man. Coach Greatness. It was truly an honor today, man. Thank you so much.
Love you, bro. Matty G. Love you.
I love you too, man. I appreciate it. We'll chat soon.
Okay, bud. Take care.